So now let's look at choice, which is really important. And a lot of people, what they don't like about the state controlling things is that they say that means the state is trying to control too much and limit choice. So, for instance, we can buy hundreds of models of car, whereas in communist societies, there were more control over cars. It was, why do you need loads and loads of cars? We can just produce a few cars. You don't need all of this choice. You need something good value that works. And generally people, especially in the West, like choice. So choice with schools, for instance, how many choices are there? So you've got the comprehensive schools we spoke about in the first lecture. Then you've got selective schools where you have to do an exam and only certain children are selected, normally better results. Or faith schools. Some parents want to send their children to schools where they'll get taught in line with certain religious beliefs. And then there's private schools or fee-paying schools, which, why do parents pay for them? Well, generally they think their children will get a better education and other things that government schools might not have, like better sports facilities or music lessons or things like that. We've looked as well at academies, which are sort of often set up not by the state, then funded by the state, but they have more freedom than state schools to do what they want. Vocational schools, teaching people specifically for jobs, certain jobs. Specialist schools for people with certain learning needs, special educational needs, like if you're dyslexic or something. And then this really random type that's not very common, a democratic school, where basically the students make the rules. Lessons aren't compulsory. And they've come into problems with governments over time, because the government says you have to go to school. But then some schools, this school in the photo is what's called a Sudbury school. It's called Summerhill, and it's in the UK, in the east of England. And there, if children go to that school, they don't have to go to lessons. They can go to the lessons that they want to go to. And in the past, the government has said, well, that's breaking the law because they have to go. So my point is, there's about 8 types of secondary school. And if you include lots of other countries, then more will appear. But that's more or less it. And there's various iterations around the world. Obviously, there's different types of education. For instance, vocational schools, you might have schools for carpenters, schools for engineers, schools for electricians, schools for people who want to work in software. Obviously, there's more choice than just this. But the point is, there's not loads and loads and loads and loads of types of school.